Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at nuxanor. Now, nuxanor, also known as nuxtaku, is a... I hate the term, but he is a VTuber who is, in my personal opinion, a generally gross human being based off of their past opinions on specific things. However, if they have changed their mind about specific things, then sure, go ahead, do your thing, whatever. Nuxtaku is specifically one of the few people is one of the people who I can honestly say I disagree with Nuxtaku as a human being. I completely do. But they do also have one or two, sometimes maybe three very okay-ish takes that I can almost agree with, but it's still one of those things. It's just all or nothing. It has to be this way, or it's disgusting and degenerate. So, at least in his brain, that's, yeah. So, let's take a look at Nuxtaku, who is somewhat of a very gross human being, let's be real. Uh, so, the first thing that we are going to talk about when it comes to Mr. Nuxtaku is that he was fairly well known for when he first came out supporting Shadman. Now, I'm not, at least his art. Now, I'm not entirely sure about why or like uh a lot of the things that Shadman has popped out of his itty bitty brain there are just absolute disgusting nastiness, and I do not understand why anybody would support not no. But Nux thought that it was a great idea to, for some reason, show their support for Shadman by utilizing his art in his thumbnails and talking about conversations that he had with him and a lot of different things that a lot of people would say yes, he's not condoning it by talking to him or speaking about him, but he is, well, at the end of the very end of the day, there's no other way to say it. He is participating in the platforming of him. So, yeah. And let's be real here. This Shadman is a man who is currently in, as far as I'm aware, I have no idea if he's been released or not, currently in prison for assault of a minor. And I'm not sure if they had charged him for the distribution of child pornography or not, but yeah. That's what we know about Shadman. He is a disgusting degenerate who makes sketches of children in horrible positions, and yeah, it's literally like, what, it's just a drawing. What the fuck are you drawing? What is the drawing of? Exactly, pervert. Anyway, let's get into next. Let's see exactly what his words are about Shadman.
Make his. Yes, I did get DM'd by Shadman every once in a while back in the day. Rarely. I would just wake up out of the blue and boom, I'd have a Shadman DM, and I would literally make fun of him for those DMs later. Man. That's a yeah. And
that's a way to start a sentence.
That's a way to start a sentence. And he has some interesting takes on Gardevoir.
Interesting.
He can keep them. I don't think I need to hear them.
Buddy, yeah, you don't need to hear them. Interesting takes on Gardevoir. I would wake up to a Shadman DM. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. This is totally disgustingly. Yeah, bro. You're totally just dissing him for whatever he's saying.
Weird. Dude, honestly, it was the weirdest conversation I've ever had in my life. Like, through DMs. I didn't speak to him, like, voice, but it was the weirdest conversation I've ever had. I'll show you the DMs, because I don't believe in leaking DMs, but I can tell you some of it, because it's hilarious. I'm just reading through our conversations. Holy crap, this man. Oh my god, I can't even read you most of this. I can't even, oh my god, I literally can't read any of this to you. I really want to show them to you, but I don't want to, like, show you anything that I can't reveal.
Seriously?
Like, I don't want to actually get him in trouble.
I want to show it to you, but I can't show it to you because it's just so. I want to show it to you because it's just so hilarious, but I can't show it to you because I don't want to get him in trouble. So you think it's hilarious, yet you think it's gonna get him in trouble. Um, what exactly is funny about it, Nux? And how is he? What about it's gonna get him in trouble? And why wouldn't you want to get somebody who is like that, who is a degenerate, in trouble? It's a good question. I understand not believing in leaking messages because, whatever. Everybody deserves to have their privacy. However, I do not believe in maintaining the privacy of a person who is very, very morally disgusting and does not deserve their privacy. Like, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here, but once somebody has taken action to willingly harm a child, which is exactly what he did to Keemstar's daughter at 10 years old, he took action to willingly harm her by drawing her indecently and sharing that photograph that he drew of Keemstar's daughter in an indecent position, and most likely many, many, many other young girls. So I don't want to hear, I don't want to get him in trouble. That's ridiculous and disgusting, and it is disgusting behavior to protect someone like that. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. The fuck?
Collabs are not promotions or condonement in any way on my channel. It seems Nuxtaku had private.
How? Okay, so collabs are not promotion or condonement, but you have taken zero issue with promoting and condoning people who you have collabed with in the past. And any collaboration I've ever seen nuxanor here do, he was always very, very kind to these people and treating them very, very well and giving them compliments on their work in between some light ribbing and jokes. This is terrible. These are terrible things. And this is a terrible man who puts people in terrible situations. And Nux wanted to collab with him, knowing full well that a collaboration with this man would broaden his audience. And not only that, he utilized thumbnails that were drawn by this man, knowing full well that that would not only add to Shadman's audience by trying to find the source for the thumbnail, but also it's going to take from Shadman's audience to add to his because they're going to recognize the art and then go directly to that video. Because they're disgusting gooners who probably need to be put in a cage. That's just a personal opinion. Personal opinion here. I love anime. I really do. But anybody, absolutely anybody, who is looking at the young characters or even the immortal characters that are in young bodies in a provocative way or in that type of manner are absolutely disgusting and need to be put in the predator wing of a prison. Somebody needs to call Chris Hansen because that is fucking disgusting. Okay? Okay. It doesn't matter. It is disgusting. It is predatory. It is not a gray area. It is a disgusting area. And honestly, there's a really good reason that that type of content is illegal in Canada. Uh like literally as far as I'm aware, the Canadian government actually like has stuff like that blocks that shit from the internet viewing in Canada, specifically that shit. I don't actually know, don't quote me on this. Anyway,
Conversations with Shadman throughout 2021. Curious! Curious! 1.3 million views, 200,000, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000. The point that I'm trying to make here is, for some reason, I became the goddamn enemy numero uno when it comes to this freaking bullshit.
it's because you are associated. You are enemy numero uno when it comes to this bullshit because you are associated. You were speaking to him. You had conversations with him on a regular basis. You were using his art in your thumbnails. And not even just that, you blatantly stated that you don't want to get him in trouble by ousting conversations. I'm sorry, but if I found out that somebody who I was talking to was being a degenerate, disgusting freak show, I would take that evidence to the police. I would out them. That shit would be posted on Facebook. I completely believe in other people's privacy, but if they are proving themselves to be a danger to the public and to people within the public and to children and to everyone around them, I'm gonna take that to the police. I'm going to out them. I am going to show the fucking world that is getting posted on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. Nowhere is safe. Nobody's not gonna know. Because guess what? That's disgusting, degenerate behavior that should not be allowed in any way, shape, or form. It needs to be stopped. And by not saying anything, not wanting to get them in trouble, and being disgusting with them, you are participating in the protection of a disgusting human being. That is just the way I see it. That is just as bad as seeing somebody about to get into a car and drink drive. If you see somebody who is drunk and is about to go drive, and you don't do anything, you are just as guilty if somebody gets hurt as the person who was driving drunk because you let them do it. The fuck? If you had every opportunity to make sure that they did not do that, and that they didn't take their keys, and that they were not going to drive drunk, if you were able to make sure that they were going to get a taxi home or a drive back home, especially if you were sober, you are just as much to blame as the person who was driving drunk. I hate to say that. I actually have immense guilt about that exact type of situation because when I used to be friends with a very strange type of girl, I will call her, and she had a absolutely horrible boyfriend. It was a very abusive situation. She was adding to it just as much as he was. I am not going to sit here and defend either one of them. They were both terrible. Now, anyways, this man showed up very, very heavily drunk. I could smell the rum off of him from 3 feet away. And I should have been a lot smarter than I was. Because I was smart enough to take the keys. I was smart enough to try to de escalate the situation. I was smart enough to try to do my best to make sure that he didn't drive. But I was not smart enough to not believe this person when they promised that they were not going to drive home drunk after their keys were taken, because they showed up to my house to come and yell at the girl who I used to be friends with. I have since cut this person off because I cannot deal with the drama of being friends with them. As much as I enjoy their company and I like them as a person, it is a lot of drama to be friends with this person. So I just simply decided not to anymore. So, because he showed up drunk to come yell at her, I took his keys, and because I just wanted this dude to leave, I did not want him anywhere near my house. I just did my best to de escalate the situation after I took the car keys and tried to get him to leave. And he promised me that, and he refused to leave without the keys. And I'm over here like, well, I don't want to give you the keys because you're just going to drive home drunk. And bro was just very, very insistent. No, I'm not going to drive. I just don't want to leave without my keys. So I was stupid enough to hand them back, and bro drove home drunk. So I immediately called the police. And because it's literally like a 20-second drive from my home back to that trailer, it was because dude was already stopped in their driveway when they got home. There were no charges laid, even though it really should have been a charge, because I'm sorry, if you're sitting in a car that's running while you're drunk, you should have a drunk driving charge, especially after you were just called on for drunk driving. Anyways, drinking and driving is extremely dangerous to both yourself and the general public. Absolutely nobody else who was on the road had consented to that man drinking and driving and being possibly unable to avoid an accident. So it is completely wrong. It is putting every single person in the community in danger if you get into an accident. And I don't care about the fact that it is an if. The fact is that drunk driving accidents happen all the fucking time. And it's typically not even the person who's drinking and driving that gets hurt. It's somebody else. And if that person gets put in the hospital, if that person passes away from that accident, then you've just killed someone because you were too selfish to not get behind the wheel after you've drank. After you got drunk, you were too selfish not to get behind the wheel after you got drunk. So, in my mind, that exact same standard, you were too selfish to not put somebody who is a disgusting, degenerate human being that is purposefully putting both fictional and non-fictional children at risk and exposing their intimate areas to the general public without their knowledge by sketching to imagine. And you're putting them on a platform that is exactly the same in my mind as doing that yourself. In my mind, platforming somebody who is doing this and giving them more people to go to their audience, as well as pulling from their audience, is just as bad as doing the exact actions that this person is doing yourself, because you have not completely condemned them. You have not condemned this person by literally you've not only not condemned this person, but you have uplifted them. That's wrong. It's not okay. It's a little bit fucked up. To be completely honest, it is generally fucked up. Definitely generally fucked up to continually send people into your audience there, dear Nuxanor. And let's take a look-see at our next clip, shall we?
Also, to make things worse, they say that I used a picture from Shadman's porn comic of Arya Stark played by a child actress for Game of Thrones. Lies! It wasn't even Arya Stark. It was the freaking you know nothing Jon Snow girl. It was her. It was not Arya Stark. These people literally will go crazy out of every possible way.
Not to be rude or anything, but does it even matter which one of the drawings of his it was that you used, all things considered, you still used a Shadman drawing as your thumbnail and still promoted Shadman's art through your via your thumbnail. Um, Bro, are you serious? Is that really your defense right now? Can you come up with a better one or what? Like, come on.
Just scroll back in my DMs from how old is this? One sec. 2020
Oh
with
God.
Shadman, because he sent me some wild.
He
shit.
sent you some wild shit, did he? Oh gosh, what in your mind even qualifies as a wild shit, Nux? Like, come on now, man. How stupid do you think I am?
Also, Nux used a censored picture of
Sincerely.
Shadman's porn comic of Arya Stark played by a
Wow.
child actor of Game of
Okay.
Thrones for a thumbnail. This is all wrong. Okay, so we'll just do this one first. So I did use Shadman art in a thumbnail once. I made a video talked about fucking awful Game of Thrones cursed Game of Thrones memes. One of the cursed Game of Thrones memes that popped up when I looked up fucking cursed Game of Thrones fucked up shit on Google Images was a Shadman art, and I didn't even know it was a Shadman art when I used it.
Yes, you did. God, this is disgusting. You have used Shadman arts in your thumbnails a couple of times, and people have pointed it out, and people pointed it out immediately. And not to be rude, but I hate to say it. As much as Shadman is a disgusting, horribly terrible degenerate, he is also an artist, yes, and an artist who has a specific art style. And if you know anything about arts and artistry, a lot of people can tell who the artist is by their art style. Now, Nuxtaku here just so happens to be an anime enthusiast. You can tell with a singular look at any of his profiles. The man is an anime enthusiast. Hell, he's a fucking VTuber. Of course he is. Come the fuck on, right? Um, so I don't exactly see how this is somehow an explanation, but we'll let him try to explain. We'll see where he goes with this. Let's take a look.
I got comments saying I recognize the Shadman art, etc., etc., and I changed the art not last week to avoid drama, not yesterday so I could have a Zynga response video and make an apology. No apologies. I changed the art 2 to 3 years ago.
Okay, so you changed the art 2 to 3 years ago. That doesn't mean that you didn't know that it was Shadman before you uploaded it. Okay, next clip.
Fun. I like this one a lot. Someone tags me, probably this guy. I don't remember what this was about. Shadman says, a bit too middle school. I say, want to collab? He says, Lamau, no, but your heart's in the right place. I say, understandable, have a nice day. I'm here when you come around.
Bro literally asked Shadman to collab with him, and then he wonders why people are thinking that he is promoting Shadman. Good job, Nux. Good job. What is your next response, good sir? Really, literally, quite honestly, I want to know what the next response is. Sincerely.
People are making this as some sort of, I am supporting him and I'm trying my best to become friends with Shadman, this monster. Which is fucking stupid if you know my content at all. I troll confront people when I collab
Sure
the
you
same
do.
way you do, talking to Keemstar, on LOLCow, and if you watch
Speaking
my videos,
of which,
you know
we're
that.
going to have some of the evidence of his little, you know. So his idea is, some of confronting people and grilling them and calling them out on their shit is light jabbing, light ribbing that anybody who watches anime in general will get, and telling them that he enjoys their work and how good they are at what they do. At So I don't understand where that is coming from because it is completely untrue. Yeah. Cool beans. Cool beans. Cool beans.
I don't mind if you hate me, but at least hate me for the right reason.
We do hate you for the right reasons. I promise we do. I promise we hate you for the right reasons, Nux.
I am going to prove the point of my troll confront people shtick.
Prove
okay,
it.
so let me pull up my original tweet where I covered this, because I did in fact mention this over here. So I say, people saying I'm a liar because of these tweets. Aside from not knowing the extent of his shit then, meaning I didn't know about the Keemstar daughter shit, I'd collab with all kinds of scum. Most of my collabs are trolling, and I was gonna grill him. I'd interview EDP. I've never commissioned, promoted, been friends with.
Let's see this trolling, shall we? Shall we? Shall we? Shall we? Shall we? Let's take a look. Let's see if we can find it here.
Larix, commentary YouTuber fellow, says, good faith question, hoping you could clarify. This is huge, because most questions, not at all good faith. So you didn't know the extent of his shit then, but you were going to grill him at the same time. If you did get that collab, what would you grill Shad on? From what I remember, he was known as the guy who drew minors sexually. You didn't know that?
It
the
is
rare
a good faith question.
I knew about the lolly stuff and some of his art, like the bestiality with...
I find, at least in my personal experience in commenting, if I'm asking a question, it is in good faith. I want to know the answer. It is a genuine question. And a lot of people are probably putting genuine questions on your comment section or wherever. You are just simply taking them as some kind of bullshit and, for some unbeknownst reason, just being a dick about everything like you always do. Let's see.
Fictional children, etc. Definitely enough to grill the guy. Holy shit, there is so much more. Like, there is so much more than just that. That is the worst, and that would have been the hard cutoff for me to not even respond to the guy,
and
probably.
What about you? When you were live streaming a few years ago, you would have other streamers unknowingly watching some nasty lolly stuff on your live streams, and I'm pretty sure that is specifically so that they aren't able to later on speak out about whatever the hell you were doing, because, you know, you literally made them do it. It's a little kid's tattletale thing. Like, if you did it with me, you can't tell on me for it. If you did it with me, you can't be mad at me for it. If I tricked you into doing this with me, then we're both going to get in trouble, so you can't say anything about it, and you can't tell me that it's wrong because you did it too. That's literally a little kid's method for making sure that other kids don't tattletale on them. It's a manipulation tactic that children use. And it seems a little bit weird and freakish that he is utilizing this, honestly. Ugh.
But I legitimately was gonna grill the guy. If you've seen my collabs, I didn't know about Keemstar's daughter, although that's the less important part of my tweet. Collabs are not promotions or condonement in any way. Appreciate the reply. If you have a history of doing many collabs for the sole purpose of trolling them, I think this is fair. Not gonna lie, when saying I was asking for a collab as a troll, it looks kind of bad. If that's what you've done before, it's believable. Well, this over here is a collab where I collabed with Kagi Films, a voice actor, and it was purely for the... I told him that we were going...
Here's the collab. Let's watch.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. The thing is, you're actually one of the best dub voice actors. Whenever I see you in a show, I'm always excited. Like, I unironically watch the Horimiya dub because I think you do such a good job.
Oh, thanks, man. It's a really cute show.
I usually watch anime and sub, but Horimiya, dude, kill it.
Roll the clip of me killing the turtle.
So that is your idea of... So you're literally... That was the example he gave. That was the example he gave. That was the example. That was the example. That was the example that this man gave. But yeah, when you actually go into the video and watch the video, he is just as sweet as apple pie the entire way through it. Yes, he's joking around. Yes, he's like doing some light jabs. Yeah, he jokes with him. But when you are talking to somebody who you claim that you are going to blast and that you are planning on grilling, and you're talking to them like that, you're talking to the person who you used as an example like that, is that really your version of grilling someone, Nux? Really, man, do better. Nux fucking Taku, you need a smack, bub. And I'm not saying that just because of some of your other views. You actually need to be slapped. Just one time, one good slap. Just to knock a little bit of sense into you. Only once. Nothing more than that. I'm sure it won't hurt you too much. At least I hope so. Oh, geez. Nothing hard enough to actually inflict physical anything. You know, I want to be kind of nice about things. Anyways, this is the tweet that they sent back. Anyways, so I just looked through the two examples you gave me from the videos where you troll, and you lied to my face, dude. You shouted out both of them and said that you had a fun time and said that they were cool guys. These videos are literally just promotion for them. Weird examples that you gave to defend this. I collabed with an anime voice actor to show him terrible dubs, but they were all his own work. I collabed with the producer of One Piece live action for a show live action to show him lots of show more. Yeah, I'm not reading all of this. Look, at the end of the day, these are bad examples to give as I'm trolling them, I'm grilling them on their actions. This is what. No, you were just having a good time fudging around with these dudes. Come the feck on. Alright, now we're gonna get into some other things.
In any country in the world. And the people at CDC who oversaw that
Ooh,
process
bro
and
is
put
raspy.
masks on our children, who closed our schools, are the people who will be leaving.
Leaving? Fucking kill those motherfuckers! Leaving? Yeah, in a body bag! String them up Nuremberg style! They fuck the generation!
So what I'm hearing right now is that he wants everybody who was involved in the quarantine and such to be murdered. He is calling for the murder of human beings because they wanted the general population to be safe. They ordered a quarantine for the safety of the general population. That's what I'm hearing right now. Okay. Bud, are you sure that you're okay in the noggin? Are you sure that you don't need a psychiatrist to come and read your head a little bit? Because calling for the extermination of government officials is not exactly the way that we need to go about things. Uh, I get that a lot of people were very upset about the quarantine. I get that a lot of people were very upset about the vaccination things. I get that a lot of people were extremely upset about the masks. But at the end of the fucking day, would you rather continually spread whatever was the coronavirus to everybody around you in case you are a non-symptom having carrier, or possibly get extremely ill yourself because somebody else has it and didn't wear a mask and didn't stay home and didn't cover their fucking mouth when they sneezed? Or would you rather just follow the fucking rules that are designed and put in place specifically for your personal health and safety and not get sick? Because I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of different illness rates and stuff went down significantly because, especially in a lot of different places, simply because of the different protocols and mandates and stuff that they put in place for COVID. Like the mask thing that actually helped stop the spread of viruses a lot. Mandatorily washing your hands constantly, the wiping down of surfaces, all of that stuff actually helped lower the transmission of a lot of different airborne and surface-borne diseases in a lot of different areas, and different waterborne diseases, different bacterial infections, different viral infections. A lot of the rates of different illnesses went down significantly during the pandemic, and that literally had to do with all of the different things that were put into place. So, fuck you. Fuck you. I understand it wasn't pleasant. I understand that people have a lot more social issues now, but fuck you. Yes, there should have been a lot more things put into place to help with mental health things that were going on due to the pandemic. However, that was an oversight that was not thought about at the time. Either way, everything that happened was happening for our general health and safety, so fuck you. You really want to have a bunch of people murdered for thinking about your health and safety? Fuck you, bud. I don't know what else to say. This is Nuxanor being a full ass hypocrite. Let's take a look at this.
Bro, Lava was a mod, and Lava was 13 years old. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you pulling a sneak on us right now? I opened a public Discord server. I swore to myself I would never do it because the degeneracy would be too much, and the degeneracy is already too much. 16 or older, though, please?
So,
16 or older, though, please.
NSFW meme, 16 or older though, please. Just slowly zooming in on the NSW memes. Oh my gosh, this is gold. So the thing is that they were just grilling one of the people that was working for or with Ava Chris Tyson. I can't exactly remember what exactly was going on. However, he was going on about the ages and such of people in the chat who were seeing some pretty gnarly, nasty shit, and literally his asking of for people to join his Discord was make sure that you are 16 or over. 16 is still minors. They are still minors, good sir. Do you not understand this concept? Is this foreign to you? I believe it may be.
I'm scared for you and your childhood
I'm
if you
scared
join
for
and you're
you
younger.
and your
Okay?
childhood if you join and you're younger, okay? Wow. So now we are going to get into his lovely opinions on a couple of TikTok trends that have been happening. Let's take a look at this one.
It's currently the most concerning trend on TikTok.
Is it really the most concerning trend on TikTok? There's literally a trend right now called devious licks, where people break into schools or are in schools and steal stuff like hand sanitizer and fire alarms and toilet seats. They just rip them off the toilets. That is a trend on TikTok right now.
Yes,
this
yes,
is the most
this
disturbing trend on TikTok.
that is an issue.
Well, more-
However, you didn't even let the guy fully explain. Now let's listen to the man. Okay, Nux. Like, gosh darn it. Let's go.
More TikTokers have started to recreate that dance, and it's
It
got
is
people
us.
concerned. Basically,
Ew.
a lot of people are afraid that the dance is going to get really popular, and kids are going to start coming on the app and doing it and get targeted by predators.
No one's afraid of that. Big mobs.
People-
Nicer words. All right, Miss.
Are afraid of that. People, it has been happening. Are you stupid? Oh, let's keep going.
You know it. I don't know you, and you seem like a decent man. John 3:16. Ah, my man. He's a man of the people. This dude, this absolute legend. I didn't even notice that before. Don't quote Bible verses in your bio, dude.
Bro, you quote Bible verses in your fucking videos and you're gonna go after some fella for putting Bible verses in his bio as if it's some kind of crazy thing? That's a hypocritical statement if I have ever seen or heard one. Wow. That's not concerning at all. At all. No, never. No. Cool beans.
What? John 3:16 is. For God so loved the world that he gave his own forgotten son, that whoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. All right, gamers. Yeah, all right. If I see that in the bio,
It's bad enough I see that in your videos.
Well, more and more TikTokers have started to recreate that dance, and it's
It
got
is sus.
people concerned. Basically, a lot of people are afraid that the dance is going to get really popular, and kids are going to start
has-
coming on the app and doing it.
Which
and
has been happening. And will most likely continue to happen.
Get targeted by predators.
No one's afraid of that. All right, maybe I'm not around TikTok enough, and I don't understand the ecosystem.
People are afraid of that, and I feel like you do understand it just enough there.
I don't think that people are afraid of kids being targeted by predators because they're doing a dance. Okay? Kids are targeted by predators on TikTok for freaking breathing crooked. I don't think this dance is going to push anyone over the edge, but that's just...
So you can acknowledge that, but you cannot acknowledge that them doing an obviously disgustingly provocative thing on, like, they are mimicking what was originally a Rule 34 video and was censored to pretend that it was a dance, but everybody already knows what it is. Are you serious? And the only reason that I even know that is because I fully looked into it. And you, Nuxanor, were the person who was originally showing it all over the place when it first came out. So what the fudge? I think you need your noggin read. I think you need to see someone. I really don't understand why you can't do that. The next bit, this here, this here, this here, this here. This is quite literally Nuxanor showing other streamers lolly hentai on live stream so that he could say that other people were doing it so that he could get away with it. Anyway, let's take a look at this.
This is a hentai?
First rule, hug your little sister every day.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, it's just hug her for at least 10 seconds. There's nothing wrong with the hug. Yeah, it's fine.
No, the third rule isn't any weirder, so you don't have to worry.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. That's disturbing. I don't know if Oompaville has ever actually called out said behavior or talked about how this behavior in his past was wrong, nor do I know if he has ever talked about how it was wrong of Nuxanor to do this to him and have him live streamed watching this type of thing and even show it to him in the first place. But, yeah. Welcome to the internet. That's terrible. Fuck. It's just wrong, okay? It's just wrong. So, this is Cursed Speedrun Fails, and this is a cute little... Do you see that? Do you see that? Do you see who that is? Take a look at that. Now, that's not good, okay? It's not good. Let's see if we recognize them from anywhere else. Diabetes is the name of this sweet little... He literally had a hentai of a lolly VTuber. Let's see if we can, yeah. This is what she does. This is what she does. That's what she does. And he used hentai of her, look at this, twice, not once but twice, in his bloody videos as the thumbnail. It's disgusting. And this is the original image it came from. It originally came from, so a very, very unrise reverse image search will take you to hentai, and there is a very large phallus directly over top of... Don't look it up. Don't look for it. I feel sick. It's disgusting, and why this man would even think about putting that image in a even in a cut out version, like why he is using Rule 34 hentai of young characters in young innocent characters in his thumbnails. I want to throw up. I want to punch him. I think that this man should be in prison. There are a lot of things going through my brain when I see that. When I really and yet he's the guy. He's the guy who's always running around talking about, oh, this needs to be done, that needs to be done, we need to not do this, we need to not do that, oh, this has to be appropriate, oh, this guy's a pedophile, Hassan Piker fucked a 15-year-old girl in a brothel. Okay, you're literally pointing fingers, bro. What the hell? Your past actions are just as bad, are not just as bad, but they're pretty fucking bad, and kind of depict you as the exact same type of person that you're claiming that other people are. As much as I dislike Hassan Piker, I'm not going to spew anything out without actual facts and showing the evidence, and you can't really find actual facts to show the evidence for this. So, show me actual proof instead of running your big blabby mouth. And I might believe you, but I don't believe a fucking thing that comes out of Nuxanor's face. And he is a serious right-wing extremist. Like, I know that the lefties are kind of going crazy and calling for violence and calling everybody who exists on Earth that doesn't agree with who even halfways disagrees with a singular one of their points. Doesn't even fully disagree, but halfway disagrees with it. They are immediately a fascist. They are every type of bigot under the sun, and they are a Nazi. They are Hitler. And apparently, well, simultaneously, it's a whole thing. But on the right side, they're literally calling everybody commies and claiming that they're all demonic and claiming that everybody either needs to be locked up, deported, or die. So it's a hand by each. Let's be real here. There is no in the middle ground when it comes to any of the political parties. They're all just going insane. I believe that they are, and all of the people who are following it is going insane, along with the politicians, and we all just need to chill the fuck out. It's one of those things that I think the world needs a drink. Terry Clark said it best. I think enough's enough. She's been spinning around so long, I'd say she's pretty wound up. So calm down, sit back, relax, tear up the contracts and save the ink. And I think the world needs a drink. Let's get on to the next clip.
Lollies, which I have absolutely nothing against. I don't think anyone has anything against lollies, okay? Like Chibidoki or Megumin from Konosuba or Gura. Nothing has anything against lollies. It's lolly that's the gray zone.
It's not a gray area. It's not a gray area. It's not a gray area. And I have something against it. I don't have anything against the characters themselves existing. I have everything against people who are being nasty. Now, let's see what the next part of this is.
This guy's pinned tweet that he retweeted is this, all right? Look, it's lewd lolly stuff. That's a line, all right? Lewd lolly stuff, that's the gray zone. Not actual pedophilia, but the gray zone.
It's not a gray zone. It's flat out creepy. You are looking at a photo of a child character, whether it be cartoon or not, and fetishizing them, that's fucking creepy, that's disgusting, that's gross, that's not a gray area, that's a disgusting, degenerate human being. Who I would not trust around my children, who I would not trust around any child, who if I seen walking around in the playground, I would probably... Honestly, I'm gonna be real here. If I see somebody like that walking around a playground, they would be roundhouse kicked so fucking fast and sent the hell out of there. Do you know how fast I would just flippity gibbet them all upside down and then pick them up by the shoulders of their shirt while I run them outside? Literally drag them across the ground to get them off the premises? Hell to the fucking no. No, 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 no. And the fact that Nuxanor, for some unbeknownst reason, seems to think these are okay statements to make, I sincerely hope that he has changed his mind about these things since then. However, the fact that he sincerely believes that these are okay statements to make makes me genuinely feel sick and disgusted and fully believe that this man should be banned from being within 100 feet of a playground. Anyway.
This is like one of those debates that in the anime community, it's so divided. Like, there are actual people that think it's not weird to fetishize lollies.
It shouldn't be divided. It is. It is. I understand that there are people who think it's not weird, but it is. It's weird, and it's creepy, and it's wrong, and it's disgusting, and anybody who is doing that should be put in prison.
I'm just saying. Definitely better to fetishize lollies than real-life children. That's not the debate.
No, that shouldn't be a debate. There is no debate there. You shouldn't be doing either or any way, shape, or form. That's disgusting. You should be put in prison, good sir. Prison, I tell you! Prison! He's evil! I just turned into Mermaid Man.
Doesn't make it not weird and cringe and something that I would keep away from, my kids.
Oh no, he has kids. I fear for them. Sir. It is cringe and it's weird and you should keep people like that away from your children, and based upon your opinions of this, the fact that you believe it's a gray zone and not an actual problem, you should probably be kept away from your children. I understand that you're most likely only saying that so that you don't get some lashback, but my god. Grow a fucking pair of nuts. Better yet, grow of a hoo-ha. Those fuckers could take a beating. Buddy boy, be a fucking man and just say what you mean. If you don't think that it's actually a gray area, if you think that it's wrong and you think that those people should be kept away from children, why are you saying that it's a gray area? Is it just so that you don't get backlash? Because I don't think that matters. It's not a gray area. It's fucking wrong. It's disgusting. And yes, if people are doing that, they should absolutely, positively be kept away from any and all children. Gosh darn it. Now we are going to get into something that Turkey Tom has talked about, because yeah, take a look-see at this stuff. This is a learning process right now.
EPI is a shorthand for early introduction, in which minors are exposed to adult content. They fantasize about perverting their innocence, often by utilizing Rule 34 to flood sites with a younger demographic. It's a form of fetish mining explicitly used to groom children.
That is exactly what our dear Nuxanor has been doing. Shall anybody like to see my reference here? Because this is disgusting. Take a look at all of his thumbnails. So we have... some Marvel hentai. Beautiful. We have Marvel. We have Japanese schoolgirls. I actually don't know that anime. Rock, paper. No. Dude. That's Katara from Avatar The Last Airbender. I showed the most cursed Pokemon comics. That's not even Pokemon, good sir. No. Dude, no. You need to be stopped. You need to be stopped. It's one thing if you're just doing a good-natured stupid video. It's another thing if you're purposely trying to like show it as a porn in your thumbnail specifically to get gooners there. I really buddy. I think our nuxanor here is in need of help. The next clip. Let's get going. Oh yeah, this next clip is nuxanor making false allegations about a streamer who had later been exonerated. I'm not really sure if the file that she posted was actually an exoneration because she put it together herself or he put it together himself. I don't know if it's a male or a female. It's like this little dude with a voice changer thing, and it's a VTuber. You can't tell.
Is this HoloLive?
No, Taiga is an indie streamer who I don't know the whole story. But Taiga was outed to be a
now. Quick question: why exactly would you decide to make these accusations without knowing the whole story, without knowing anything that actually went down, without having any type of proof of these accusations whatsoever in any way, shape, or form? Why in God's name would you make these allegations? Now, let's see.
I alleged it also because a friend told me, and I regret it because he you know, I don't know if it's true. He ended up coming back with some sort of response. I don't know, this guy Bungo Taiga, and I apologized to him privately that I even alleged something like that.
A private apology doesn't take back
like,
what
because
you
a friend
had
told
said
me.
or done in front of. Well, this was on Moist Critical's or Penguin Zero's stream, so probably a couple million to a few thousand people now think terrible things about this person. And they were apparently innocent as far as anybody knows because there was absolutely no proof. So, what exactly, in any way, shape, or form, yes, you should regret that. You should not have ever said that in the heat of any moment. And just because somebody told you that does not mean that you should automatically believe anything that they tell you. You should do your research. You should do your due diligence. You should look into things. You should actually get proof before you make a public accusation like about something like that. Bro, you could have been sued for defamation.
Taiga, and I apologized to him privately that.
Let me be clear. Let me check exactly what he said. If I do a sequel with Charlie, I was planning on it. I'll try to clear the record more publicly. I'll also do more research. Again, I don't know right now, however. I'll try to rectify any extra damage I caused and hope you can accept my apology. This was in December 22nd, 2022. 2022. He said he was going to make a sequel video with Moist Critical. Video never came.
And that video never came. And yeah. And like I say, he apologized. He apologized privately, but he only made the public apology after he was called out for it. And literally, he never owned up to his promises. By the way, shouldn't exactly be involving other people in promises that you are making, because you can't hold up Charlie's end of, you can't hold Charlie to your end of the deal. You can't just automatically add other people in without consulting them first. That's not fair. You have to have a full, consultation with somebody. That's a full-ass work thing before you can just automatically promise, I'm going to do this with someone else. I'm going to do this, and this person's going to platform me so that more people can see it, and this is how this is going to work. But you also have to have prematurely agreed with the other person before you make that promise with the person that you're making the promise to. And by my assumption here, I don't actually know. However, I am assuming, and I will be the first person to say I am assuming that you did not do that based on the fact that it never happened.
I made a huge up. Without hyperbole, this was the biggest mistake of my career, and I am deeply, deeply sorry for spreading misinformation and for causing any undue hate to be sent Taiga's way. I am sorry for how I handled that. I'm sorry for how I said it. I have tried to do better since then, and I will continue to try to do better in the future.
So, he did apologize, but he didn't do it the way that he said that he was going to do it. He blatantly lied to this girl. Anyways, girl, boy, I don't know. It's a VTuber. I can't tell. I don't even know if Nuxanor is actually a dude. Anyways, next clip. He's a liar. He lied about this person, then he lied to this person, and then he did everything by himself to cover his own ass. Because he lied. Because he's a liar. Because he fibs. By the way, Nuxanor, I'm not sure if you know, lying is a sin. Every time you lie, you make Jesus cry. I don't know if you know that. I'm not even Christian. I'm over here like, every time you lie, you make Jesus cry. Every time you lie, you make all of the gods cry. Lying is a sin in every religion. Welcome to the jungle! No, honey, lying is a sin in every religion, including Judaism. So, you're going to hell. And you're the one who's constantly talking about, we must do everything based upon the Bible, these heathens.
Oh, right. I thought you cared about, stood up for small creators. I do. Especially when the small creators don't have sussy interactions in regards to minors.
But Taiga didn't, and you somehow decided that you were going to, buddy, you need Jesus. You definitely need Jesus.
Content that we used to do like 5 years ago, which by the way, I've already stated in videos, like my 10-year subscriber special video on YouTube. I already stated I've distanced myself from all that because ever since getting into the commentary sphere on YouTube, I absolutely recognize the fact that children are vulnerable online. And I definitely 100% am trying now to stay away from all that shit. Because I don't want kids to end up getting into trouble because of content that I'm making or thumbnails that I used to do. And I have stopped making those thumbnails and doing that content for a while.
Buddy. The fudge. You've stopped making those thumbnails and doing that content for a while, but you're 28. You're 28. How young were you when you were doing that? 10-year anniversary. That means that you were 18 when you started your... 18 is old enough to know better. 18 is old enough to know better than to do those things. 18 is old enough to know better. Bud! Wow. I mean, I'm sure in 10 years, I will have changed my opinions about a couple of things. I am sure that in 10 years, I will have changed my outlooks on a couple of different things. I am sure that certain specific things that I thought over the years will change within the next 10 years. However, I am not stupid enough to think that my actions from 10 years ago, if I had done anything wrong back then, would not come back to bite me in the ass now. If I, wow.
That's obviously bad faith. Probably one of the most bad faith ways to twist what actually happened I've ever heard. Now, I have said in the past, and I'll say it again, I do regret making a lot of those old videos. I have literally always been against the lolly. I made old videos where I found, crazy hentai, and I showed them to people for shock value. These hentai videos are on YouTube also. And I reacted to a YouTube video, being like, this is crazy that this came out of Japan and is literally on YouTube. So, anyway... It was a little wild. I invited a lot of people to the call. Obviously, no one thought it was weird. People had eyeballs.
Why would you help it succeed
everyone
if you
thought
were
that
against
the
it? Why would
content
you
was
show
weird.
it to people if you were against it? You fucking mongoloid. Are you stupid? Do you sincerely expect anybody with any type of a working cerebral anything to believe you? Do you really expect anybody at all with a functioning brain that has all of its little electrical nodes working to believe you in any way, shape, or form, you fucking degenerate. How can you say you've always been against it when you were literally using it in your thumbnails and showing it to people, you nasty? This is straight up fucking lying. Your actions do not reflect your words, good sir. This is not, you are not speaking to a toddler. This is not a do as I say, not as I do type of situation. The fuck? People are going to look at what you say as well as what you do and what you have done in the past. And everything that you do everywhere follows you everywhere. Do you not understand these things? Are these things have these things not sunk in over the years? And I'm not even saying he needs Jesus because he's Jewish. I'm saying that he needs to go and he needs to at least read the Torah more. Buddy, you need to read your Torah more often. You need a lot of different things in your life, my good sir. You need to take your own religion seriously if you are going to preach about it so fucking much, for one. Anyway. Oh yeah, we are now going to get into nuxanor on the Tylenol thing. Let's see what he has to. So this is one of the extremely few things that I can actually agree about because I've done the research and looked into it and everything. And yes, Tylenol is linked to being is possibly linked to being one of the possible. Oh gosh, what's the word again? There are links between Tylenol and neurodivergence. There are studies that are showing that Tylenol could possibly be one of the things that contributes to people becoming neurodivergent or getting autism or ADHD or other different neurodivergent types of disorders, mental disorders, I shall call it. I have it myself. I have the ADHD-tism, both ADHD and autism. It's fine. We're all good. A lot of us are extremely functioning members of society. We're just weird. It's fine. But I can also say that a lot of people's reaction to the fact that the fact that Trump is trying to bring attention to this, because apparently it does worry the man, which I'm not really sure why it worries him. I don't think he's having any kids or grandbabies anytime soon. But it worries Trump for some reason. Anyways, the fact that he has brought up a bunch of studies that have been coming out since the early 2000s, actually. The post that Tylenol themselves made was posted in 2018, if I remember correctly. So this is quite a long time before Trump was even in office. Anyways, this has been a thing for quite a little while, and for some reason, I'm not entirely sure why, everybody is deciding that because Trump is trying to bring attention to it, and simply because he mentioned it, that there are going to be a bunch of people who are popping Tylenol, and basically the rates of overdoses in the States have gone up significantly because there are women all over the place who are saying that they're dutifully taking Tylenol to try to prove Trump wrong, but a bunch of them are literally overdosing because they're taking fuck tons more than even the recommended amount for a person who isn't pregnant. Most of these women are pregnant, by the way. They're literally putting themselves in the hospital from Tylenol overdose while they are pregnant with children, so possibly murdering their babies. That's literally the one and only thing, one of the two or three things that I can agree with nuxanor on. That is kind of ridiculous. You don't put yourself or your child at risk just to try to prove the orange man wrong. That's a little bit overkill. A lot overkill, actually, and unacceptable behavior. Anyways, let's take a look at this.
So Donald Trump said a thing. Everyone crashed out on Donald Trump, and they're so mad at him. They're making believe. They're making believe that Donald Trump is pushing a fake agenda to distract from Epstein. By the way, this is a real, actual, unironic argument. Look at this. You know what's more dangerous than Tylenol? Pedophiles. Release the Epstein files. Don't worry, we'll get to that later. A lot of people are trying to make believe that the Tylenol...
I mean, true. That is very true. People can survive with autism. People who have autism are perfectly capable of living on their own unless it's like a severe version that makes it that you're unable to take care of yourself or others, you know, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. But the and pedophiles are just as dangerous. But I don't think that making an announcement cancels out the amount of literal loops that they have to jump through in order to actually release the Epstein files. I feel like there are a lot of different things that they have to do in order to be able to do that. There's probably so much bureaucracy behind that it's ridiculous. I don't think that he can just walk in, pull it out, and then show everybody on camera and read it all off. I feel like that is kind of not, he has to go through a lot of channels to be allowed to do that. Even though he is the president of the United States, he can technically do whatever the fuck he wants as long as he says, yeah, I'm allowed to do that. But I don't think that he's going to just automatically skip over any and all types of rules and regulations, considering how on to rules and regulations the man seems to be. He's a little bit overkill on some things. It's verging on a couple of different words I don't like using within my home because I hear those words far too often, both on the internet and out of my boyfriend. The left-wing politics has affected my boyfriend's mental health a lot, and he thinks that a lot of things that are not fascism could be considered fascism, and I'm over here like, nope. Simply making sure that people are making informed decisions and such. However, yeah, whatever. I feel like people should have to learn about everything that they are putting into their body before they put it in their body. I feel like everybody should have to take personality tests and stuff at a young age in order to find out about certain things about themselves so that they know if they would be a good person in the future in order to do certain things. Like, there's a lot of things that I fully think we should be doing and we're not doing. I feel like the welfare systems and such get abused, literally abused, by people who just don't want to do anything quite often, and that makes me really sad. There are a lot of things about our system that I don't like. There are a lot of things about the American system that I don't like, but I can't control it. I can voice my opinion, but I can't control any of it, and neither can he, and neither can you, and neither can anybody else. All that we can do is put in our one singular vote and hope that our vote adds in with others to add up to an amount that some kind of positive change happens. However, at the end of the day, there's no such thing as a politician that isn't evil in one way or another. Every politician is evil in one way or another, whether we like it or not. And that sucks to say. We need somebody who's honest in office. We need good-hearted people in our office, but we don't have that. Nowhere has that. There is no such thing as a good-hearted, honest politician. And that is saddening. None of them actually voice their minds or opinions. They just voice what they think the popular opinion is for their side of the argument, for whatever party they're running for. And that's not alright. That's not cool. We shouldn't be doing that. just sheer honesty.
All hoax is literally something that is being used by the president to avoid talking about Epstein. Now, this is pretty diabolical, if I do say so myself, and a little bit retarded. Now, that person's mom probably took Tylenol while she was pregnant, not trying to go too far.
Hey! Bro, you cannot use that as an insult. That is something that they cannot control. That is something that their mother made the choices for them, not them. That's no different than a 3-year-old being, like, both socially and medically transitioned. Because, they don't know, they can't tell you, we don't know, there's no way of figuring it out. Both homosexual and trans children show all the exact same signs in childhood. Like, if you're going to grow up to be gay, you show all the exact same signs as if you were going to grow up to be trans. There's no way of knowing. That is something that nobody can figure out until after you have to have passed puberty, your pituitary gland has to be developed. There are a lot of different things that have to be fully in place before you can understand these types of things to fully figure it out yourself, let alone have your parents help figure it out with you. So, yeah, personal opinion, no different. Actually, it is kind of different because at the end of the day, the women who were taking Tylenol when they were pregnant were either told that they could by a doctor or they didn't know the possibilities at hand, even though, yeah, they should have read the fucking label. Anyway, still, we don't get to say that shit. Let's get in the next clip.
But dude, the reactions have been insane. It's just like, nani? This old tweet from 2017? What? 250,000 likes? Oh my god, dude. I'm so happy people are noticing. Now, here's the interesting thing. If you look up Tylenol overdose symptoms in Google Trends, you will notice that, well, it wasn't super high. August 25th, September 4th. It started going up around the time that, Donald Trump made his announcement, and it shot up 2 days later. It's almost like people are overdosing on Tylenol in the United States of America over the last day at a increasingly terrifyingly high rate.
It's because they are. They are. It is happening. It is happening because everybody wants to prove the orange man wrong. The orange man is not my physician, blah, blah, blah. It is happening specifically because everybody wants to be right and everybody wants him to be wrong. But, good sir, you can't get pissed off about Darwinism. This is literally just pure natural selection at this point. If they are stupid enough to do it, why concern yourself over it? If they are stupid enough to believe absolutely everything that is on the news, because I'm sorry, but the news is absolute and utter malarkey 90% of the time. Every single news station lies to fit the narrative of whoever the news station's head is supporting. Y'all understand that, right? And every news anchor will lie for their news station head and support whoever their news station head is supporting politically and continually lie for them. Not entirely certain if it's out of sheer gullibility or the fact that they know that they're lying and they're doing it anyway to induce panic. But a lot of different media outlets are pretty immoral. Let's be honest, they're quite immoral a lot of the time. And honestly, the immorality and, let's be real, the manipulation tactics that have been put about by media outlets is not an excuse for the fact that people have been thinking in some extremely, honestly, extremely disgustingly comprehensible manners. Like, it's not right at all in any way, shape, or form. Now, we have one last clip to look at for this video, and then I am going to, well, one last part of this to look at before we finish up for the day. So let's take a look, and then we shall say goodbye for the evening.
Now, why would this happen? Why would these people who not only did the president say that Tylenol is linked to autism in children, and the official Tylenol account say don't do that shit, why are people overdosing on Tylenol? Bro, what are we doing? Darwin is truly at his greatest work. Now, if you look at...
Because people are stupid. People are stupid. Very, very stupid, and we should not be thinking about what they are doing as a way for other people to live. We should not be thinking about what they are doing as something that affects us so greatly that we cannot even comprehend not thinking about it. Like, come on, man. There is so much more to life. I'm just saying. Sincerely, there is. There's just so much more to life, okay? Alright. Please do not get sucked into the crazy, manipulative insanity of the mainstream media. Please do not give yourself nor let yourself acquire what I like to call political derangement syndrome. Please take care of yourselves, drink enough water, get all of your exercise, do all of the good things that you need to do for your mental health. I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Mwah.